Ooh, doggy. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What is going on, everybody? I pray that you are just doing incredibly well, phenomenally well. So, on this video, I want to discuss something a little bit different that I actually had a hard time YouTubing to see if other people have done this video. And what I want to talk about is what happens when you actually get the property assigned. What are the final steps that will actually get you a paycheck, money in the bank? So that's what we're going to be discussing on this video. All right. So, of course, please like, subscribe, share, all those amazing things. Now, let's talk about this. So, let's say, for example, that you have your property that you're doing your first or second wholesale deal on. You're excited. You did all of the negotiations with the sellers. You got it at an incredible price. You were able to get it assigned to an end buyer, and you're going to make a 40, 50, 60, $70,000 assignment fee, right? And so now you're wondering, how the heck do I get paid? All right. So there's this kind of weird in between stage where you're not really involved, but you can't really just leave the deal either. Right. And there's so many investors that are just simply not talking about this phase or this area, right? This kind of limbo stage. And so I want you to know that once you get that a property assigned, you're not necessarily done with the deal, right? Because what happens is you still have to kind of facilitate that closing in a sense. So what I mean by this, like your title company or title attorney, at least for us, once we give them the contract, they're going to do everything that they need to do, get all of the documents in order, etc. So that way we have clear title and we're ready to close. So what they're going to do is they're going to email me and say, "Hey, Clifford, we have clear title. We're ready to close." And they're going to leave it at that. Right. And then over here, your end buyers just kind of working on their things, doing their due diligence, right? Lining up their private money lending, their hard money lending, things of that nature, right? And so what you want to do is you want to actually put the gas pedal and the pressure on both of those things. That's what I do, all right? I am trying to rush my title company to get clear title so we can get this closed as soon as we possibly can. And then I'm also not letting off the gas pedal with my end buyer on how soon can they close. So I'm calling the end buyer and I'm like, "Hey, how soon can you close? How long do you need? Are you able to close this Thursday?" Right? If they tell me yes, or they need next Monday to close, then now I'm running back to the title company saying, "Hey, the end buyer is able to close Monday. Can we get this done by any chance on Monday?" Right? To get this closed, right? So you're kind of juggling those two pieces, right? Between the end buyer and the title company. The title company isn't really going to do that for you. And so this is that phase where that's why I'm saying you're not really involved, but you can't just let off the gas pedal and go and start celebrating, right? Because we honestly can't celebrate until the money's in the bank. And that's what we want to do. And so just make sure that you're spending some time coordinating that closing between the title company and the end buyer, right? I even asked the end buyer certain things like, um, "Hey, do you need a mobile notary? Can you go into office?" Right. And then also, I'm leaving out a major component here, the seller, right? Don't forget the seller too, right? So let's say, for example, I'm calling the seller as well and throwing them in the loop. "Hey, it looks like we're going to be ready to close on Monday. Does Monday work for you? What time are you available? Do you need a mobile notary to come out to you? If so, we can coordinate that. Or do you want to come into one of the local offices here?" Right. So sometimes, like Capital Title, that's who I use. They have multiple branches, multiple locations, so they can go into, you know, any of the Capital Title locations, or they can send out a mobile notary. I would venture to say probably 70% of our closings are done via mobile notary. So just let them know that, hey, we can make it whatever is convenient for you and meet you where you are. Okay. So just make sure you're spending some time coordinating that closing. But the most important thing I truly believe with all this is put some pressure on them. Okay. Don't let this deal fall to the side. You've already done the hard part. You've already done the hard part of getting the actual deal and negotiating the deal. You've done the second hardest part, which is finding the end buyer. Okay. And so now you need to do the cakewalk, okay, if you will. So this way you can have your cake and eat it too. That's what we want, right? So now you can make sure that deal gets to closing. So I pray this was helpful. I hope this was helpful. Again, I started thinking about this because one of my community members was asking me about this because they just got their first deal. They got it assigned and wanting to know kind of what the steps were in between. So I was like, you know what? I actually don't think many people talk about this. So if this was helpful for you, please put in the comments below. But y'all have an absolutely beautifully blessed day. I see y'all soon.